Hello and welcome to this very short morning wake up yoga stretch. So I like to call this my sunrise yoga stretch. It's not a very long practice, so it's a nice one to do just as you get out of bed in the morning, make you feel a little bit more stretched out, a bit more refreshed and definitely more awake. Okay, so when you're ready, come to take a comfortable cross-legged position on your mat. If being cross-legged is a little bit tricky for you, then that's absolutely fine. We can pop the legs out in front as well, as long as we're sitting down nice and flat on the sitting bones, then that's all good. So we're going to take a moment to just connect to the breath and to the body. So pop your hands down on your lap. And let's take a moment to just elongate the spine, lift through the crown of the head, so lengthening the neck as well. Take a moment to just close down the eyes. And then when you're ready, take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And then exhale through the nose. Take another deep breath in. And exhale out through the nose. Now just continue to breathe at your own natural pace. And just take a moment to go inward. Notice how your body is feeling. Maybe you're feeling tired still. Maybe your body is a little bit stiff. Your muscles are probably a little bit stiff. Maybe you feel cold. Maybe you just feel just okay. You've got out of bed and you're just feeling okay. Whatever it is, just notice it as you breathe. And by just noticing these little sensations in the body, really helps us to become present. Take one more deep inhale. Release. And then blink open the eyes. Lovely, you should feel nice now, nice and calm and relaxed and ready to get moving. So we're going to start by just dropping the chin down to the chest. So keep the back nice and straight, drop the chin down to the chest. And then just roll the shoulders down the back a little bit. So you're just pulling that neck forward, rolling the shoulders back. You feel a lovely stretch down the back of the neck. And you might feel it across that trapezius muscle, which is across the top of the shoulders. Often a place that we get extremely tight, especially when we sleep. Take a nice big deep inhale, exhale. And on your next inhale, I want you to roll your nose up to your right shoulder. Hold it for a second, and then roll the head down, back through center, rolling that nose up to the left shoulder. Roll back down through center, bringing it back up to the right shoulder, and then rolling back down and up to the left. Just continue to do this sort of half circle motion a few more times. Sync it with the breath. And then finally end with your chin to your chest. Take a nice inhale as you lift the head back up to center. Lovely. And then we're going to inhale the arms up, Exhale, lean over to the right, bend into that right elbow, lean over with your left arm. Keep that left arm alongside the ear. Feel that nice stretch in the hip. Inhale, arms up and come down to the left. Bend into that left elbow, keeping the right arm above that right ear. Inhale up, exhale down to the other side. Let's do it a little bit faster now. So inhale up, lean over to the left, back up, over to the right, over to the left. Let's do one more. Over to the right, and then up and over to the left. Lovely, and then bring it back to centre. Okay, we're going to come onto our knees now and come to the back of your mat. Come to sit on the heels. We're going to do a little child's pose flow here. So this is a really nice one to wake up the upper body and the torso. So I want you to inhale your arms up, and then as you exhale, we're going to come forward, down as if we're coming into a child's pose. And you're going to come down, bring the forehead down to the mat. So the forehead's going to kiss the mat. And then we're going to inhale up. And then when we exhale, we're going to cactus the arms back. So you're lifting the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Okay, so we're just going to go through this little flow with the breath. So inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Kiss the mat with your forehead. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale up. Exhale, fold forward. Kiss the mat with your forehead. Inhaling up. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale up. Exhale, come down. Inhale back up. Exhale, cactus the arms. We're going to do one more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Forehead kisses the mat. Inhale, come up. Exhale, cactus the arms back. And then we're going to squeeze those shoulder blades. Lift the chest. Take a nice big deep inhale here. Exhale out. Take a nice deep inhale one more time. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the shoulder blades. Inhale the arms up and then come forward into your tabletop position. So find that tabletop, knees directly under the hips, wrists directly under the shoulders. And then we're going to inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the gaze. Exhale, round the back, chin to chest. Inhale, dropping the belly. Exhale, rounding the back. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, round the back. Lovely. Just do a few more of these and sync it to your own breath. So really waking up the spine here. And the neck as well. And then bring yourself back to a neutral position, to your tabletop. And then we're going to do some hip circles. So swing the hips out, around and back down to the heels, out to the other side. And come forward. So nice big hip circles, nice and controlled. If you are having any wrist issues, any sensitivity in the wrist, then we can pop our hands into a fist, and this will create more of a sturdy base for you. Or you can just do smaller circles and not go quite as forward when you come round. Let's switch the direction of the circle now. Do a few more of these. and then come back to your tabletop position. We're going to do a lovely little calf stretch now, so send that right leg out nice and straight, tuck the toes, bring that foot down and then push into that heel. So pushing into the heel, and you can rock backwards and forwards just a little bit so you just feel a little bit more in the calf. It's a wonderful stretch, really nice feeling. And then lift up that right leg and then take it all the way over to the left as far as feels comfortable. And then you can push into that heel and gently look over your left shoulder. Take a nice deep breath in and then bring that leg back and back to your tabletop. Let's take it to the other side now. So inhale, send that left foot back, tuck the toes down and then push into that heel. Again, you can rock backwards and forwards. This might feel quite nice. And then inhale that leg up and let's take it all the way over to the right as far as feels comfortable. Push into that heel and then look over that right shoulder. Take a nice deep breath in and then bring it back to your tabletop. Okay, we're going to do a little thread the needle now, so staying in your tabletop, we're going to inhale that right arm up, float it up to the sky, so you're opening up the chest, and then we're going to thread it through the left arm, coming down onto that right shoulder, right ear. Bump your right hips over to the right to square off the hips. And you can have your left hand just in front of you or up overhead, or you can bring it up and around the back, hook it onto your thigh for a little bind. So breathe nice and smooth here. Feel a lovely stretch in the shoulders. You might even feel it in the neck. And then release that hand if it was behind your back, and then use that left hand to push you up and unthread your needle. Come back to your tabletop. Let's take it to the other side. So we're going to lift the left arm up, opening that chest. Exhale. Let's come down onto that left shoulder, left ear. Bump the hips over to the left. And you can have your right hand in front of you, or you can have it up overhead, or we can pop it up and behind our backs. Then you can tuck it onto that left thigh. So check in with your breath here. Make sure you're not gripping anywhere, not holding your breath. Try to breathe nice and smoothly. And this is definitely one of those poses that can feel different either side. So one side feels completely different to the other. That's perfectly normal. And it's okay just to notice it. Okay. Inhale, use your right hand to lift you up, coming back into your tabletop, and then let's come back into a child's pose. So let your forehead rest down on the mat, and let the shoulders and belly just melt over the knees. Lovely. Take a nice deep breath in. And then as we exhale, we're going to slide forward and come down onto our bellies. We're just going to come into a Sphinx pose. So your elbows want to be directly under your shoulders and you've got your forearms flat to the mat. You can spread your fingers nice and wide here. Push the pubic bone into the mat. This will help just create a little bit more curve in the spine, help you lift that chest. Make sure that your shoulders are down and away from the ears, and you can just ever so slightly tuck the chin into the chest. Relax the bottom and the thighs here, and just feel this lovely medicine for the spine. Take nice smooth breaths. Lovely. Okay, exhale, come down onto your belly, and you can just roll over now onto your back. So take a moment to get comfortable and have your feet flat to the floor, knees bent. We're going to come into a little bridge position. So if you have the middle finger touching the back of your heel, then your feet are the right kind of distance away from the hips. You can have your knees about hip distance apart. And then when you're ready, inhale, lift the hips nice and high, roll onto the shoulders, interlace the fingers behind the back. And then do a little check-in here. Make sure that your knees don't splay to either side. You've got the soles of your feet nice and flat to the floor. And then really push up through the hips. Be sure not to move your head to either side because this can cause a neck injury. So just keep your gaze up above. Take a nice big deep inhale. And then exhale, slowly release down. Lovely. And bring the knees into the chest. Give them a nice big hug. And then we're going to circle the knees. Little small circles one way. And then change direction. And then we're going to pop the arms out into a T shape. And then we're going to exhale, bring those knees down to the right side of the body. And then there's an option here to either carry on looking up at the ceiling, or you can gaze over at that left hand. You might want to close down the eyes here. Breathe into the belly. This is a lovely passive twist. It's a really nice one to wake up the body, that midsection. Inhale, bring the knees back to center, and then when you exhale, let them drop down to the left side, and then once again you can either gaze up at the ceiling, at the sky, or take your gaze over to the right. Once again, just checking in with that breath. Make sure you're not holding the belly in this position. Soften the belly. Breathe nice and smoothly. Maybe you want to take a few deep breaths here. Okay, inhale, bring those knees back to centre. Do one little last hug with the knees to the chest. You can even inhale, lift the head and the neck. Give yourself a really big squeeze. And then as you exhale, release yourself. Come into your corpse pose, your Savasana. Take up some space. Let your body relax and sink down into the mat. And as you breathe, just take notice again of how you're feeling. How does your body feel now? Is it different to how it felt at the beginning of this little mini practice? Are you feeling warmer now? More awake? Maybe you're feeling less stiff in the muscles. Just notice it. And then return your focus back to your breath. So it doesn't matter how short your practice is, never skip your Savasana, your relaxation pose at the end, because if you do, you're just keeping your body in an active state and you're not giving your body just time to process and reset. So even with a short practice like this, just taking a minute or two, or as long as you want, the longer the better. Just to let your body process the goodness that you've just given. Okay, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. I like to rock my hips from side to side. And then slowly roll onto your side and bring yourself up into comfortable seated position, however that may look for you. Take a nice deep breath into the belly and sigh it out. And when you're ready, blink open the eyes. That feels good. And that draws us to the end of the practice today. So I hope you enjoyed this short little practice. This is a nice one just to do at the beginning of your day or any time of the day really, when you just feel like you need just a little bit of a stretch. It can help you clear the mind, and it's also a good way of just connecting with the body, listening to your body for like 10-15 minutes. Then it's so much easier to focus on your day ahead and whatever tasks that you've got to do. So yes, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.